Welcome back to another video. We're looking at more Bitcoin boringness and we're looking at more volatility in this market. We're looking at more inconsistencies as the days go on because literally crypto never sleeps. And I mean, we've entered a new week right now and we are now below 60,000 again. I mean, we are used to it now. I mean, I'm talking like this is breaking news. We are used to this sort of move to the downside and move these volatile swings. And with how volatile it is, it gives more opportunity to buy a good entry, right? Or take a good position on a long or a short if that's you're swinging that way. So there's a few things. So there's a few things going on this week. So we've got economic data coming out. We've got inflation data coming out this week, and that is going to probably move the market slightly because the forecast is it's probably going to be the same. Previously, it's probably not going to do much to the price, but we may see some volatility as the news comes out. Don't think it's going to shift too much. We are expecting, of course, rate cuts next month. There was speculation that there was going to be an emergency meeting this month, or actually last week, but that didn't happen. And that's kind of gone out the window. So we're not really expecting anything in that regard anymore. But as this suggests, this is, if it stays the same, like I said, as we know, it's probably not going to change much on the charts, unless it is just a radical quick movement. But it's very unlikely that anything's really going to happen, in my opinion. And if we look at liquidations, you can see that there's not much movement. There's not much going to the downside. There is a bit at 55,000 or 54.5, and then, so there is that potential that they could go after that. I mean, you know how manipulation works. They go after the liquidity. They go after your long positions to exit you out. It's likely that we're going to obviously range between where we are right now here for the last, well, how long, since March time, since we had that initial gigantic pump. We've been ranging from 72,000 or 73,000 here to, well, the low 50s. So we are still in this range, and it is getting really monotonous, the whole consolidation between this range. And yes, we are trending downwards, and you could argue that this is not really a consolidation period. This is just deciding where the market is, where we are deciding where to go, if we're going to go make a move for the downside or the upside. I guess that this has gone on for far too long, and this just indicates that we are waiting. This whole thing here, this whole range, is an indication of waiting in terms of where we are going to go next, which would be, say, in the September the rate cuts. Where we go from there would be, of course, to the upside, because there's obviously more money coming into the markets, more liquidity, more investment opportunities for people as rates do get cut. So for the long term, that's a very positive sign for the price, because based on history, as we know, that only eventually increases the price. And we have, of course, the election coming up. There are so many different factors, of course, that play a role in this. So this is more of like the waiting room for the price, whether it goes up or down, which is very, of course, likely to go up. So with that in mind, and going back to the liquidations, with how much potential money there is up here, we're talking billions. It's in the billions up here, over 70,000. What happens there when that gets swept? The price automatically reacts to that, and it will go up. So when that liquidation gets swept, we will see a significant move to the upside. There's no going around that. That liquidity will get swept and it will pump up. That's how it works when shorts get liquidated. As the opposite happens when longs get liquidated. If this heat mark right here was, say, here, and that got swept, then there will be a significant move to the downside as well. So the opposite effect happens. That's just what happens when you go long or short. So yeah, that's kind of the overall sort of where we are this week. We're looking at inflation data coming out. Most likely it's going to be the same. That's what the forecast suggests to us. And then that leads us into going into September, which well, you would assume that they're going to cut rates with all the things that have been going on, and with the Fed meetings and in the conference itself. He's leaning towards it's going to be cut, and we all know it's going to be cut. Based on everything that's happened in the last few weeks. It's just obvious. The more interesting part this time is not whether it's a yes or a no, whether it's going to be a 0.25 or 0.5 BPS instead. That's the ultimate conversation and debate at the moment. It's not whether or not it's a yes or a no, because whether it's going to happen, it's a pretty definitive that it's going to happen. So we're just looking at the numbers really in terms of how much they do cut. So that's what we're looking at. And with this as well, with this price, you can only assume that, BlackRock, they're going to buy this. This is juicy, another juicy week for them if they can scoop up this cheaper Bitcoin under 60,000. It's just, that's how I see it. That's how they probably see it. Of course, they're the buyers. If I'm spending multiple millions a day, then you can only assume that they are in that mindset as well. If I had all that money behind me, you're damn right I'm going to be buying this at this entry. So yeah, if you found this video interesting, informative, please like the video, consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next one.